with all of these lockdowns continuing across the country, what do employers need to be mindful of at this point? To tell us more is Joydeep Hor from People, Culture and Strategies, and he joins us now live. Joydeep, great to have you on this morning. That we're all in lockdown. What are some of the big problems that are facing employers at the moment?
I think the biggest issue for employers at the moment, Cara, is that this has now started to drag on for such a long time, and as has been the subject of a lot of commentary in recent weeks, the mental health impact on all Australians is really something that is very hard for employers to be staying on top of at the moment. And the reason it's so hard for employers to be on top of it is that, quite simply, the usual avenues that employers would have to be across some of these issues, for example, employees taking more sick leave, just observing from those people in management or supervisory roles, the looks on faces, the impact of what people are talking about, the noise that you observe when you come to work and what you see and what you hear. With people working from home in the vast majority of instances, an employer's awareness of what their employees are feeling at this particular point in time is something that they probably wouldn't even be at the 10 to 20% mark of, as against what they would be if people were working in a pre-COVID from their usual place of work. And I think this is a real challenge because employees are feeling it. Employers are not necessarily aware of what the employees are feeling. And employees may well be thinking, well, what is my employer really doing to even talk to me about this? What care is my employer showing me in relation to these particular matters? And I think this is a huge watch out for employers.
Yeah, so how do the employers then get involved in people's lives, do you think?
Well, I think that as is often said in the context of significant days in the calendar, like the Are You OK Day and like type events throughout the year, employers need to themselves show a level of vulnerability. And when we talk about employers, of course, we're talking really about those in management, and in particular senior management, senior leadership roles, who need to be leading the way in terms of talking about what they are thinking and feeling at any given point in time as well. And if you've got leaders who are saying, look, this is having an impact on me, I'm just the same as you in terms of I'm not enjoying the lockdown, I'm not enjoying the homeschooling, I'm not enjoying the uncertainty, I'm not enjoying the fact that I can't travel, it's going to create an environment where people feel that they can talk a little bit more openly about these things. Until such time as culturally there's that framework created for employees to feel they can talk about this, employers will always stay in the dark.
And Joydeep, what are the radical changes that you're expecting from the industry going forward? I mean, where is that balance of working from home, working from the office?
It remains a very interesting one. I think if we cast our mind back to probably the early part of this year, where people were starting to come back, in inverted commas, to their usual place of work, there's still a number of employers who were saying, look, we're quite happy with people continuing to work from home. A lot of organisations talking about hybrids. I wouldn't be surprised if after all of this is done, if we do get to that particular point and a lot more of the freedoms are introduced, that employers will be encouraging a little bit more strongly their employees to be returning to their usual place of work. I think that's something that can safely be expected. I think employers are going to probably be overcompensating in some ways, recognising that people have been so detached and so removed from their colleagues that the best thing to do is to try to almost saturate that contact again amongst co-workers. But I think the other thing that we're going to start to see a lot of, and this happened earlier this year, is that some of that resentment and those mental health issues or psychological health issues that employees have been feeling, I think it's going to translate into a lot of employees looking for alternative work, looking at making lifestyle adjustments for themselves, realising that they have learnt a lot about themselves, about their families, about what they like and want and all of those kinds of things. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see quite record levels of turnover within organisations, because people may well appreciate that life is short, and certainly to be stuck in one organisation for any particular period of time is not something they want to do. So that experimental factor will probably kick in. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement in the labour market over the next 6 to 12 months. And I think that's going to take a lot of employers by surprise.
Yeah, we're talking of that movement. Surely it's particularly hard for those new starters, new company, they're not seeing anyone. I mean, how has that hiring process changed?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of clients about the challenges of onboarding stuff. Obviously, many people are having to hire and they are onboarding and they are doing the induction thing. Excuse me. But what they're saying is that they just have to back their systems, and I think they're very reliant on their staff, those new staff, working cooperatively with them in understanding that this is not how it would have happened ordinarily, but this is something that just has to be done for the time being. But most employers are really struggling with it, and a lot of employers are saying it's so hard and it's just so challenging that we're better off deferring unless it's absolutely critical hires that we're talking about.
Joydeep, such a difficult topic, but thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Cara.